Hi students, welcome to lesson number 15, Culture, Concepts, Characteristics and Elements. Human beings in everyday conversations use the words like society and culture. These two words are very important for the sociologist. A culture represents the belief system, practices and artifacts of a group of people, whereas a society describes a group of people who share a common territory and a common culture. In other words, society represents the social structure and organization of people who share those common beliefs and practices. In order to study or understand the society or any aspect, we need to study the culture. Neither society nor the culture could exist without each other. However, these two concepts, society and culture, are not the same. Now let us discuss about the objectives of culture. After the completion of the lesson, you will be able to define culture, explain the characteristics of culture, describe the elements of culture. Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, has rightly said that man is a social animal. We people from the time immemorial have grouped together into communities in order to survive. We people staying together have formed common behavior and habits which is found in every sphere of our life. It may be in terms of food patterns, methods or techniques employed for collecting the food, in terms of marriage system, setting up a family, etc. Culture is a very broad term which includes all the aspects of human life, right from the mode of behavior, our ethics and values, philosophies, our customs and traditions, our religious, economical, political and all other types of activities. It consists of all the ideas and the objects within a society, including from language, slang of words, music, art forms and so on. The specific biological characteristic of Homo sapiens such as erect posture, structure of brain, hands, shoulders and so on have favored for the development of culture. The human life and culture has evolved very slowly and gradually and took the present form. The concept of culture was explained by E.B. Tylor in the year 1860. He defined culture as the sum of ideas, concepts, beliefs, values, material, cultural equipments and non-material aspects that makes the members of a society. According to him, the human beings collectively have designed the culture which is always a part of environment. Hence, culture and society are interconnected and cannot be separated. The culture is the creation of man, but the continuation of the culture depends upon the society. Hence, the development of culture depends on man's adaptability towards nature. Culture is an instrument by which individuals try to adjust with the environment and shape up the culture accordingly. Now let us see some of the definitions of culture given by various social scientists. According to Edward B. Tylor, culture is that complex whole which includes knowledge, belief, art, morals, laws, customs and any other capacities and habits acquired by man as a member of society. According to Robert Bierstadt, culture is the complex whole that consists of everything we think and do and have as members of the society. According to Bronislaw Malinowski, culture is the handiwork of man and the medium through which he achieves his ends. According to Robert Redfield, culture is an organized body of conventional understandings manifest in art and artifacts which, persisting through tradition, characterizes a human group. According to Joseph Piper, culture is the quintessence of all natural goods of the world and of those gifts and qualities which, while belonging to man, lie beyond the immediate sphere of his needs and wants. According to 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, culture is a symbolic, continuous, cumulative and progressive process. According to 𝗵𝗍, culture is the product of artifacts, nothing but products of industry, agrofacts, products of agriculture, and sociofacts, nothing but social organizations, and mentifacts, which include language, religion, and other factors. According to Clyde Clughorn, culture refers to a social heritage, that is, all the knowledge, beliefs, customs, and skills that are available in the members of a society. According to A.W. Green, culture is the socially transmitted system of idealized ways which knowledge and practice produce and maintain as the change in time. From the above definitions, it is clear that human beings collectively develop the culture, taking the environment into consideration. Characteristics of culture. In order to understand the concept of culture, it is necessary for us to know and understand the characteristics of culture. The first one is culture is learned. Human beings by birth itself do not inherit culture, but learn socially by them. The actions like shaking hands, wearing clothes, eating food, drinking, reading newspapers, drawing, singing, dancing, etc. are all learned by the individuals. That is why culture is often called as learned ways of behavior. There are some behaviors like blinking eyes, closing eyes while sleeping, so on, are purely biological and not culture. Culture is shared. The individuals will share the culture of that particular society to its new members, which help the members to know and follow their culture. For example, customs, traditions, beliefs, ideas, morals, values are shaped by people of a group or society. New inventions, discoveries in all areas will be shared by a large number of people. As Robert Bierstead has rightly mentioned that culture is something adopted, used, believed, practiced or possessed by more than one person. Culture is communicative. Culture is communicated or transmitted from one generation to the other. Culture is communicated to the next generation by means of language. Language is different forms like reading, writing and speaking has been the vehicle of transmitting the culture and accumulated wisdom from one generation to another. As a result of being communicated from one to another, the culture is constantly accumulating and goes on added with successive generations. Since it is communicated, the new generations are being benefited by the experience of the older people. We can see new changes, alterations and development in culture. However, these changes will not remove the existing culture in a particular individual or group. Hence, culture is not only communicative but also continuous and cumulative. Culture is social. Culture is the product of society. Culture is originated and develops only through social interactions. Human beings cannot acquire culture in isolation. Man becomes a man only being with the co-human beings. Although individuals take part in the transmission and communication of culture, it is social rather than individual in nature. Culture is adaptive. Culture is dynamic, not stable. It goes on changing as per the conditions of the physical world. As environment changes, so does culture. This constant transformation helps the human beings to constantly get adapted to the natural environment or settings. Once the culture has been developed, the influence of natural environment on the human society slowly decreases. As some of the aspects undergo changes or development, some internal adaptation is done. For example, due to COVID-19 pandemic, the socio-economical, cultural and other areas have been affected. We have experienced that people need to maintain the physical distance, use masks and wash their hands frequently in order to protect themselves from COVID. Evolves into complex forms. Human beings, in order to satisfy their needs, have encouraged division of labor. In the traditional societies or agrarian societies, the division of labor is simple, but in the modernized technological societies, the division of labor has become very complex and specialized. Hence, the culture in the modern societies have become complex with increased interdependence on each other in the society. Culture fulfills the needs of the people. Culture provides an opportunity to fulfill those ethical and social needs that are ends in themselves. Human beings have biological needs like food, clothing, shelter, and so on. Some needs which provide the social status like name, fame, money, mates, etc. Social habits and needs form a part of culture which helps to fulfill some needs. Culture is a defined process by which individuals try to satisfy or fulfill their needs. Idealistic. Culture provides the ideal patterns or norms of behavior for the individuals. These ideal patterns or norms which help the individual's behavior, and accordingly the members of society attempt to conduct themselves. These ideals, norms and patterns gain acceptance in society. Integrates element. Every culture has various elements which has an order and a system. When new elements are introduced or when two different cultures come together, these elements or cultures get integrated with each other. The value system of a society is closely connected with the moral, custom, traditional belief and so on. Some societies are more open to external influences and are more heterogeneous. In spite of differences in the society, we find some degree of integration among the individuals. Every society has its own cultural patterns, which is different from that of other societies. It is evident that the people's belief, customs, traditions, values, including food patterns, dress patterns, type of houses, and so on, vary from one society to another. A number of sociologists tried to classify the contents of culture into material and non-material culture. Ogburn, in his theory of cultural change, has distinctively used these two types, material culture and the other one is non-material culture. Material culture. It consists of all the objects which is created by the human beings such as tools, machines, furniture, clothes, etc. and used by them. These are external to the human beings and are utilitarian objects. It includes all material aspects which are created for satisfying the requirements of the human beings. For example, like banks, schools, parliament, currency and so on. Non-material culture. It is internal and intrinsically valuable. It reflects the inner nature of the human beings. It consists of the words the people use, beliefs they hold, values and habits they follow, rituals, ceremonies and traditions they follow. It also includes customs, traditions, attitudes and outlook of the people. Dimensions of culture. There are three dimensions of culture. The first one is cognitive aspect. Cognition refers to understanding of the individuals and how they make sense of all the information coming from our environment. For example, we learn to identify that our cell phone is ringing based on the caller tune. Identifying or recognizing the signs, symbols, people, etc. In the modernized societies, much the culture is preserved in the form of books and documentaries and made it available to the people in the library. In the pre-literate societies, much of the culture was passed on orally from one generation to another. Second one is normative aspect. The normative dimension of culture consists of folkways, mores, customs, laws and so on. These are values or rules which guide the social behavior of the people in different contexts. For example, performing the rituals of the dead people, not stealing anything and so on. The family members, educational institutions, electronic and mass media, available literature and the society at large is going to socialize the child with the accepted norms, values, traditions, rules and so on, which can be observed in his or her behavior. The main aspect of this normative aspect is to regulate the human behavior so that all the people in the particular society behave in the same way, which tries to unite them. There are some norms which are applicable only to a particular society, whereas some of them are found in all the societies. For example, among the Hindu societies, we find people worshipping sun god, which is not found in all other communities. But if a person is caught stealing from someone else's home, he has violated the universally accepted norms and the person may be punished. Material aspect. This aspect of culture includes all the material aspects which have been made the life of the individuals simpler and easier. Materials also include tools or machines. It may include people chatting with each other over WhatsApp, chat or internet and so on, of decorating the house with the mango leaves at the time of social and religious activities by the Hindus and so on. In order to understand the importance of the cultural aspects, it is necessary to understand the cognitive and normative aspects which are there in that particular society. We can observe that the material aspects are being accepted by large section of people irrespective of their socio-economical condition. For example, people are using mobile phones, ATMs, refrigerators and computers and so on, which indicates the dependency on technology. Both material culture and non-material culture may go together, but in some situations when the material aspects or technology is changing rapidly, the non-material aspects of culture lag behind. This gives rise to cultural lag, where the non-material dimension do not match the advances in material culture. Functions of culture. The child is born as a biological being, and through the process of socialization, the child is turned into a social being. Man cannot survive without staying with co-beings and culture. Culture fulfills a number of functions. Culture makes man a human being. It is the culture which transforms the human beings into a social being. It helps to regulate his conduct, which enables to enjoy the group life. It is going to teach him what to eat, what type of clothes need to be worn, how to behave with the others and how to cooperate and compete with others. Culture provides a complete guidance for human life. Culture provides solutions for complicated situations. The human life is not smooth all the times. In the life, one may arise with complicated and tough situations. Culture provides some ways of behavior patterns even for these complicated situations. It helps the people to depend upon the internal forces to conform to the societal values. Culture provides traditional interpretations. Culture provides the traditional interpretation for various situations which come across in our day-to-day life. Based on these interpretations, the individual's behavior is conditioned. For example, if a black cat crosses the road or his way, people simply postpone their journey. Culture helps to keep social relationships intact. Culture provides the values and ideals for group life. It helps in regulating the human behavior as well in satisfying their basic needs like hunger, shelter, biological or sexual needs, and so on. It helps to maintain the group life. Culture broadens the vision. Each and every society is a collection of the individuals who cooperate with each other for satisfying their needs or requirements. Culture provides a set of rules which allows the people to cooperate with each other. Culture provides the concept of family, state, nation and class, and allow division of labor as well coordination among them. Culture creates new needs. Culture allows the people to aspire for higher goals in life, allows them to explore knowledge, and also provides an opportunity to satisfy their needs. It satisfies the aesthetic, moral, and religious interest of the members of the group. Elements of culture. Culture consists of two basic components, material culture and non-material culture. The material culture includes all the society's physical objects such as tools, machines, houses, clothes, and so on. Non-material culture includes ideas, symbols, language that is defined by the society. It is also known as symbolic culture. Now let us discuss some of the basic elements of culture. First one, language. It is the foundation of every culture. Language is the abstract system of word, meanings, and symbols for all aspects of culture. It includes speech, written characters, numbers, symbols, and non-verbal gestures and expressions. It provides the ability to the individuals to interact with each other. It also helps in intercultural relations between different cultural groups. Even though the language is universal, we find differences in the usage across the globe. For example, a person offers another person a chair by saying, "Take your chair." The person who is learning English may not understand whether he is asking me to sit or to take the chair with him. We people learn the expression or other forms of communication, especially gestures, from people with similar cultural backgrounds. For example, in the classroom, the teacher asks the students whether they have understood the lecture, and the students may simply nod their heads saying yes. We are not born with expressions. Just like we learn language, we also learn different gestures staying in the group. Norms. Norms are nothing but the established standards of behavior maintained in a society. For example, washing the hands before and having the food, respecting elders, and so on. The people in the bus stand or railway station are expected to maintain queue. Norms have become significant and are widely shared and understood. Sociologists have classified norms into two types: formal norms and informal norms. Formal norms. These norms are generally written down and specify strict punishments for the individuals who violate them. In countries like United States of America, the norms are formalized into laws to control the human behavior. Even in our college also, we have set of rules and regulations which will guide the students' behavior, like 70% attendance is must, come on time to the college, come to the examination hall before the commencement of examination, and so on. Informal norms. Informal norms refer to standards of behavior that are considered less important but still influence the individual's behavior. In the traditional Indian society, when people sit for dinner, everyone is expected to sit till all have finished eating. This we call it as table manners. Informal norms based on their importance in the society can be classified into two types. They are mores and folkways. Mores are treated as highly important for the welfare of the society. The society expects every individual to be obedient to its mores. Violation of mores may lead to severe penalties. For example, child molestation or child abuse or murdering any person, etc., have been institutionalized into formal norms. Folkways govern the everyday behavior of the individuals. These play a vital role in shaping individual behavior in a particular society. For example, a child is expected to respect elders. If the child does not do it, he is not subject to punishment. Sanctions are nothing but rewards or punishment given to the individuals for one's conduct towards the norms. For example, in the school, if the child fails to do the homework, the teacher punishes him or her, and if the student do the homework, the teacher appreciates them by giving remarks like good, very good, and so on. Values. These are defined as the measures of goodness, desirability, and proper, or as bad, undesirable, and improper. Values may be specific like respecting elders, having home, or like more general like health, love, democracy, and so on. Values influence human behavior and helps in evaluating one's action. Beliefs. Individuals in a society have specific beliefs which they think to be true. For example, in the Christian missionaries or hospitals, the doctors, besides giving medicine to the patient, suggest him to take rest and also utter silent prayers for the speedy recovery of the patient. The belief of the individual cannot be either rejected nor confirmed on the basis of empirical evidences. The concept of society and culture are very important for the sociologist. Both the society and culture are interdependent on each other. For the development and continuation of culture, the societal acceptance is required. Both the society and culture shape up the personality of the individual. It helps the people to acquire the accepted norms and values, traditions, customs, and other accepted behavior which contribute to social life. Culture is also a source to know about the life of our ancestors. It is a great treasure of knowledge which provides us with multiple opportunities to lead the life. The material culture helps in satisfying the worldly needs, and non-material culture helps the people to be united with similar belief systems, morals and ethical values, customs and traditions, and so on. To sum up, it can be said that man becomes man by staying with men. Culture plays a vital role in transforming the human being into a social being, as well in developing the personality of the individuals.